Hi, I'm Arjun Partha, and I'd like to welcome you to a Drew's Craft Paper Plane Dossier. Today, I am going to show you how to make the Swept Wing Fighter a paper airplane by Kyung H. Lee. For this paper airplane, you're going to need a 75 GSM printer paper with the dimensions 6 inches into 7.3 by 4 inches. It's just as simple as that. Okay, to begin, we are going to take the shorter side up and fold it in half. Just going to take a paper like this, fold it in half so we get a good long crease. When you're confident, press along the line like that. You should get two halves. Now this is called the book base because it looks like a book. And we're going to open it. We're going to take the paper, take this end and fold it down the middle of the crease we just made. If you want your crease, which you may get to be more visible, you can draw along it with pen. But I can see mine pretty well, so I'm going to just not draw it. But we press it down. Same for the second part. We press it down. Just like that. Just keep pressing it down nicely. Take some time to do it, though don't hurry it up too much. I finished pressing it down like that. Then we are going to take our paper, right? And we're going to touch this point to the bottom. Like that. So it kind of looks like a letter with these two extensions. Now here's a little bit more tricky part. You see this line when the triangle over here stops, this rectangular plane starts coming. We are going to take our scale and pen. We're just going to take like that and draw a line. Take it here and bring the line here. Like that. Nice little purple line. And we're going to fold along that. Take it and just fold it along there. The reason this is easy is because we're essentially folding away from this part. And this is a triangle, so it's really easy to do it. I just recommend using a pen so that you don't move the creases while doing it, which have already been made. Now here's the more tricky part. Look carefully and listen. We're going to move this part right over here. Just take it and make it line up along this. Like that. Now this part it's supposed to be a little over. Don't try and crease it from here, otherwise it's not going to come properly. Then you're going to notice this part. Just stick your finger and flatten it a bit. Now just keep pressing. And what you're going to do is actually going to go and squash this part into place. Like that. You're going to squash it down. It should come like this. Again, repeat the same for the other side. Bring the entirety of this to touch the middle. Like that. Just bring it down, touch it, press, press, press along this line. Adjust if needed. And then take this pocket right over here and just try and squash it down a bit. Right? Like that. Then just move it here and there a bit so you get a good squash. Like that. Just keep moving it around. till you get really good looking squash on this. They should roughly be a straight line like this, or they can be a little bit like this. Not shouldn't go a bit ahead of this upwards. It can go a little downwards, it can go a little downwards. But if it comes straight, that's good. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this bit and just make it touch here for something called a pinch or a crimp fold. That means you're going to take this along this, and instead of pressing the whole thing, you're just going to press the middle so you get a nice indication mark. See, just like that. You didn't really get an entire fold, you just got a small crimp. Then you're going to repeat the same side. You're going to take this, pinch, 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 don't go all the way like that. Now here, we're going to take this, pull this part up, pull this part and fold it underneath model. Looks a bit tricky at first, but you can do this. Now when you pull this up, you're going to notice that this is the second layer. Push it under this layer, otherwise it's not going to come. Push it under that layer, press it down. Take it, this part, do not fold under this and make it settle here. It should come all the way at the bottom. Just take that, press along the little pinch you made there and tuck into the bottom. Then it should come here. Then when you're confident, press it down. Boom, like that. You've reduced the weight and you've made sure it goes farther, because this plane, it's not exactly a distance plane in my view, but what we mainly would use this for is the look, and the more weight in the front, the better it is at lifting itself off the ground. Now we're going to take this side, we're going to put aside our scale. This is the side with the folds, not this side, this side. And we're going to squash the part. Like that. We're going to take it like this, just press it down here and there, let it rest for a while. Then you don't really need a scale pen for this, or pencil. You just need to eyeball this fold. Like we're going to take this and fold it down along a line, any line. Basically just keep pressing it down, press it, keep pressing, pinching, pressing. There, it should come like that. Do the same for the other side. Take this and press it a bit downwards. Now there's only one way to know how much you fold it down and how much should be there. See this, it's going to look like a bird roughly like this, right? How much of this do you want to see? If you want to see quite a bit of it, you fold it like this, or if you don't want to see that much, fold it down even lower. And if you even want, you can fold it a bit higher. You can even fold it a bit higher so that better speed, but that's up to you. And I'm going to keep it this way. Just keep pressing it down like this. Just keep pressing that part down. Now I made it really low because it's easy for me to throw a lower based one, but I recommend that you actually make it a bit bigger. Now the reason I'm telling you this is because first, it's better when you hold this, it's going to be easier to throw. Second is, if you're going to make a very small bit and it gets hit by accident, you can just straighten this part out and it probably won't affect the wings too much. If you make it very short, then you have a very high chance of moving the location of the wings around, when doing it. That is not good. We don't want this to get crushed and the wings to be affected because of that. Then you're going to have to be decisive at this point. You should take at least 2 tries to figure out how low or how high you want it. And when you're 100% sure, you can just leave it there to sit a bit. And now I'm going to show you not one but two different design versions of the same paper airplane. And now one possible design could be making this look like it's literally a bolt of lightning. You can put a nice black like this for a contrasting color compared to the lightning bolts you made over here. You can even make a nice white tip here. This can make it look like it's literally a bolt of lightning in the sky. Now you can see that these are pretty illuminating. They actually look like bolts of lightning. Here's the secret I'm going to tell you. I know how this comes. In Word or Paint or some editing software, you're going to select the entirety of this portion and you're going like just maybe a small circle here, small circle here. If you go very close into the model, you can see that this part is lighter than the rest, right? There, you're going to use something known as the sharpen and soften tool, and you're going to start sharpening the edges, right? The edges of lighting going to sharpen and soften the areas around this. Then you're going to select this part and you're going to select maybe some sort of color toner and increase the brightness here while maintaining the same brightness on this. Then you can make this small sort of windshield for a cockpit, and along these flaps here you can write the name SWF, short for Swept Wing Fighter, and a number, right? That's one potential idea. The second would be to make this look like a racer, because this is again a swept wing fighter. Swept wing planes are fast, so you could maybe put two white racing stripes here and put a flap here and here, and you can write the name, SWF, and any number you like. Let's talk about the underside of it. This part could be the completion for the cockpit and racing stripe cockpit. Then same for this side. Cockpit blue, lightning white, cockpit light blue, and lightning white. So that's a potential design. Now one thing you must have noticed that I have now made two cuts over here and folded these parts up. The reason I did this is if you do it like this, you're gonna get a much longer flight time, and especially these, the technical name for them is elevators. What they actually do is if there's any air coming and going to get a bit jittery, these will direct them up like that. So they actually help reduce the turbulence or the amount of air that's getting, going over this and under this. And these flaps, they just help for it to fly longer. There's no real or too much scientific explanation behind that. And remember, if you're going to make elevators like I have, don't make it go too much off the front. See this? This is not good. It's going to stop, it's going to just hit against this and come down. But if you make it smoothly rise like that, make it smoothly rise instead of standing, you're going to get nice super long flight, and it's going to come really silently, very silently down if it doesn't hit something. This is not a crasher, it just silently comes down. Now let's commence our flight test. And now we are going to commence our flight test. For nice, long, smooth and even flight, I recommend that you hold your plane at the end of the colored region, which would be the thicker part which we made, and launch at a medium speed for it to achieve the longest distance it can fly. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. And that is what your nice, long, smooth an even flight should look like. As you can see, it's gone quite the distance, and if you got your folds right, it should go nice and long. Now we are coming to an end of this video. I'm going to give you a few golden rules about using this plane. The first golden rule is that when launching this plane in very high wind speed conditions, always hold it by the thicker part that you have made and launch it very fast in the same direction as the wind so that you can achieve the longest possible distance out of this plane. The second golden rule is that when launching this in very low or zero wind speed conditions, always launch it at a fast speed and hold it by the thicker part you've made here. And this is very important, angle it upwards, because unlike a few of our previous planes, this is not much of a climber. This is a glider more than a climber. So always angle it upwards so it can gain some height and then come down smoothly. The third and final golden rule is that even though I have not given the measurements for the flaps and the elevators, you should make them because of one main reason. It helps reduce air resistance around the plane, which can make it go much faster and stay in the air for a longer time. So that's why, even though I have said that it is completely optional, I recommend that you do it. The fourth and final golden rule is to always have tons of fun playing with these paper airplanes and to feel free to share this video with other people so that they too can experience the joy of making flying paper airplanes. Thank you for joining me today. See you next time.